What if I told you the greatest guide to innovation wasn't written by some Silicon Valley CEO, but by a Chinese general 2,500 years ago? Well, today, we're going to unlock the secrets of modern creativity hidden inside Sun Tzu's Art of War.
I know, it sounds a little crazy, right? When you hear Sun Tzu's Art of War, you think of, well, war, conflict, battles, armies. But what if the real genius of the book isn't about how to wage war at all? What if it's actually a perfect framework for innovation in our world today?
See, this is where most people get it wrong. They hear Sun Tzu and they picture brute force. But that's not it at all. The entire book is really about avoiding conflict by making smarter judgments. It's a masterclass in strategy and assessment and, believe it or not, creativity. And that one core skill, making better judgments, is the absolute heart of innovation.
So how do we actually use this? We're going to break it all down with a really powerful framework that comes straight from his work, the four-dimension creativity model. Think of this as our map for the next few minutes.
Okay, first things first. It all starts here with Dimension 1, deep observation. This is the bedrock. It's the foundation that every single great idea is built on.
Look, true creativity doesn't just pop out of nowhere in a flash of inspiration. It starts with paying really close attention. It's the skill of seeing the actual problems, the unmet needs, the little daily frustrations that most people just kind of accept and ignore.
And Sun Tzu knew this inside and out. Before any battle, he demanded a full picture of the entire situation. We're talking everything from the morale of the people to the weather, the terrain, the leadership, the supply lines, the whole shebang. It wasn't just a checklist, it was about seeing the full context. Because for him, seeing clearly was the first and most important step to winning.
And you know what? This ancient idea is playing out in our homes every single day. Just think about it. The washing machine wasn't invented because someone thought, hey, a spinning metal box would be cool. No, it was invented because someone observed the back-breaking physical labor of washing clothes by hand. Same thing with dryers, with robot vacuums. Every one of them is a solution that started by deeply observing a real-world problem.
So once you've observed a problem, how do you even begin to find a solution? Well, that brings us to Dimension 2, creative association.
This is where the magic of metaphor comes in. And creative association, it's not just random daydreaming. It's a structured way of borrowing an idea or a system from one field to solve a problem in a totally different one. It's how we take these big, abstract strategies and make them feel real and understandable.
And Sun Tzu was an absolute master of this. Instead of just barking dry commands, he used these powerful natural images. He didn't just say, hey, be adaptable. He said, be like water, and bam, you instantly get this mental picture of flowing around obstacles. He didn't just say, coordinate your units. He described a mythical snake that if you hit its head, its tail would attack. These associations just make complex ideas click.
And here's why that is such a game changer. The biggest breakthroughs, the real leaps in innovation, they almost never come from just making tiny tweaks in the same old field. They happen when you connect two completely different worlds. Think about taking a principle from biology and applying it to robotics, or a concept from physics and using it in finance. That space in between, that's where the magic happens.
Okay, so you've seen a problem, you've brainstormed a ton of ideas through association. Now comes the hard part. Dimension 3, strategic integration.
This is where all that wild creativity meets cold, hard discipline. It's the process of sorting through every idea you have, not to add more, but to subtract. The goal here is to narrow it all down to the single best path forward, weighing all the risks and all the rewards to create one focused, powerful strategy.
Sun Tzu actually had a name for this: temple calculations. Before a single soldier moved, he and his generals would get together and integrate every single piece of information they had: spy reports, weather forecasts, you name it. More calculations, more deep analysis led to victory. Fewer led to defeat. It was basically the ancient version of a data-driven modern-day strategy session.
And the goal here is absolutely key. You're not just trying to win one battle. You're aiming for what Sun Tzu called total victory. That means a win that's sustainable, one that saves your resources, and one that doesn't completely destroy you in the process. For any startup or innovator out there, this is a huge lesson. A short-term win that burns through all your cash isn't a victory. It's a dead end.
And that leads us right to the final, and maybe the most important dimension. Because let's be real, an idea is totally worthless if it just stays in your head. Welcome to Dimension 4,
disciplined execution.
This is all about turning that brilliant strategy into something real. It takes grit, it takes structure, and it takes that relentless drive to see things through. Without execution, all the observation, association, and integration in the world is just a fun thought experiment.
I mean, think about it like this. That brilliant idea you had in the shower, if you don't write it down and actually do something about it, it's like it never even happened. Suntzu knew that the only way to manage the pure chaos of a battlefield was with absolute discipline. The same is true for innovation. The creative process can feel messy and chaotic, but it needs a backbone of discipline to actually bring anything to life.
So how does all this ancient wisdom apply to the modern battlefield of business and technology? Let's connect the dots right now.
It's amazing how timeless these ideas are when you look at today's tech. That principle of association, well, that's the heart of biomimicry, engineers studying dragonflies to build better drones. It's the core of AI, where we're literally building neural networks inspired by the human brain. And what about integration? That's perfectly captured in the idea of the minimum viable product, or MVP. It's all about converging on the core features to test the strategy without wasting resources. It's a modern path to total victory.
So in the end, you see, these 4 dimensions aren't just a straight line, a one-and-done checklist. They actually form a continuous loop. You observe the world, you associate ideas, you integrate a strategy, and you execute. And then, the results of that execution become the new thing you observe, starting the whole cycle over again. This is how real, sustainable innovation actually works.
So, The Art of War is so much more than some dusty old book. It's a sharp, practical, and incredibly relevant tool for thinking. It takes creativity from this mysterious talent that only a few people have, and it turns it into a structured method that anyone can learn and apply.
This framework for making better judgments has been tested and proven for over 2,000 years. It's powerful, it's timeless, and it just flat out works. So the only real question left is, what problem are you going to solve with it?